That's the last of them. better off than the Marauders, at least.
I've stumbled onto something big. Bigger than Minnie Ambrose's journal. Spacer's Choice wasn't making adrenatime for humans. They were making it for canids. The ads were all smoke and mirrors. There's no way they'd make something this dangerous for people. But why? To build an army? Like in the Archie Excelsior comics? To make them smart, so they can do most of our jobs? To make them smart and give them thumbs, so they can do all of our jobs? Only one way to find out.
Yeah, huh? I hope we can help Miss Minnie uncover what happened to her mother. I wouldn't wish the pain of not knowing on hardly anyone. Dad always said I couldn't keep my thoughts to myself, even when I wasn't speaking. I've been churning on that phonograph we found. The one belonging to Dr. Ambrose. The one where she says Spacer's Choice tested adrenatime in Edgewater? By the time they sent that drug to Edgewater, they knew it hurt people. That it made them violent and stole their minds. But they did it anyway. Edgewater was already fraying at the edges and they tore it right to bits. All to make money. I just can't conscience that kind of cruelty no matter how hard I try. It just makes me want to scream. Thanks for letting me talk, Captain. I've been needing to get that off my chest. By working with the board? Pardon me for saying so, but I ain't so sure. After what we've seen here, I don't think they got anyone's interest at heart but their own. Nuh-uh. Dad wouldn't let me near it. He was a real big believer in rest. Not his own, mind you. Mine. A drug was no substitute for that, he said. No matter what Mr. Thompson told us. He never did follow his own advice. He worked himself to death. And the company didn't even thank him for it. Not that he told me, but Edgewater was a big town then, and it only had me and him to keep it running. Most nights after I got to bed, he'd just keep working. I always wondered how he had the stamina. Turns out he didn't. I don't think I ever put it in precisely those words before. He would have looked after his health if he could. He always looked after mine. My dad was still young when he passed, but he had the body of an old man. The company did that, not him. It sure is lonely.
What's up? We've seen a lot of stupid in this colony, Captain. Trying to turn raptidons into diet toothpaste. But this, if it's true, if Marauders were made, someone ought to burn for it, Captain. That's a nice thought, Cap. You're a good person. But no, I knew folks who turned. I've seen it happen. It's a slow, insidious descent into madness. Ain't but a shell left behind, sniffing around for its next meal like a canid. Well, someone has to be. Marauders are a problem. Finding out it's self-inflicted is... Ugh! Someone unleashed that evil on our colony. And at the end of all this, they ought to look that evil in the eye and account for it. Good. Thanks for chatting. I know I ain't normally the one to wear my heart on my sleeve like this, but this whole thing's got me shaken up a bit. I'll pull it together. Let's go. Let's find out what happened.
Comms tower, right? Ought to be one of the tallest things around. If it's gonna get a signal past these canyons. I sure hope that spooky person on the screen ain't waiting for us. I'm about ready to jump out of my skin.
Birthplace of marauders. We ought to have left well enough alone. Now we're in it. Come hell or high water, we've got to see this through.
Talk to my first mate if you have questions.
You want to know how I'm doing? I've been hunting down a petrified llama all day. That's how I'm doing. I don't even know anymore. We spent so long arguing about what is or isn't a llama that it's all a blur. Captain Babbage has a lot of strange contacts in the parcel delivery business. One of them must have a thing for llamas. That's it! Oh, I can't wait to rub this in my dumb captain's face.
See here now? What's all this talk about?
We got the package. And guess what? It was where I said it would be. And this fossil? It's not a llama. Not a llama at all.
I believe I owe you an apology, First Mate.
What?
It's true. I wouldn't know an alpaca from a raptidon, and as a captain, that's a mark against my good name. Can you ever forgive me?
Llama.
I don't know what to say.
I'll start. Thank you, stranger.
I suppose he's right. Maybe I was too quick to dismiss your leadership, sir.
First Mate, let's say we put this awful business behind us with a round at the Sprat Shack. First one's on me.
Llama?
Here's my cut. I'd say you've earned it. And here's a little something extra for your time.
Llama.
I take offense to that. I would know if I was a hallucination.
Be seeing you, and thanks again.
Llama. Llama.
Evacuation in progress. Spacer's Choice is not responsible for any bits, possessions, or loved ones left behind.
Would you like a reminder on when your next shower is scheduled? Captain. Captain! Imagine my surprise when I saw the Unreliable leaving Gorgon with so much urgency and purpose. Tell me you found Mother's journal. I'm positively dying for good news. Well, isn't that exciting? A lonely asteroid, an old research facility, and now shady corporate intrigue. And here I've just been doing the crossword. Any promising leads on Mother's journal? I've watched enough detective serials to know that a promising lead can get you anywhere. I seem to recall that Mother worked closely with Gorgon's R&D personnel, but not close enough to invite them over for dinner and cocktails, if you get my meaning. By now, they'll have moved on with their lives. If only I could do the same. I knew Mother was involved with some important chemical trials, but I had no idea her pet project was adrenatime. Adrenatime is a working man's stimulant, like a caffeinoid. Very popular at launch, though the marketing quieted down over time. What? No. I mean, there's some very morbid wording in the fine print, but I had no idea adrenatime could make marauders out of people. That's it. That must be it. Spacer's Choice is keeping their dirty little secret about adrenatime off the record. We have to find Mother's journal. If we don't, then Spacer's Choice gets away with murder. I only hope we aren't too late. Adrenatime was touted as the working man's best friend, a drug that boosted productivity with no adverse effects. The promise of adrenatime cannot be overstated. Exhaustion and fatigue were supposed to be obsolete. Workplace accidents would be things of the past. For whatever reason, the drug never lived up to that promise. I don't know. And thanks to Spacer's Choice, we may never find out. I know that I'd like to see a colony where the promise of adrenatime was fulfilled, and I doubt I'm the only one. Thank you. I certainly ought to know what I'm doing. I spent years trying to break into pharmaceuticals, professionally speaking. Mother wouldn't hear of it. She didn't think I had the wit to succeed in her line of work. Safe travels. If your leads give you any trouble, be sure and give them some trouble back, yes? Ta! Welcome back. Take. We are now in orbit above Byzantium, Captain. Please avoid this. Damaging your...
Welcome to the Musgrave Family Collection. Still a work in progress. I'll tell you what I've told all the other guards. Mind your boots. Our floors are not made for armor. If you're here for the annual Canid review, I'm afraid it's already over. Only thing going on behind those doors is good, old-fashioned lawful behavior. This greeting constitutes your confidentiality agreement. You hereby agree not to disclose the location or existence of these events. Thank you for cooperating. Then you should have told me that before I greeted you. Defaulting on a verbal agreement is a punishable offense. Now then, how can I help you? We find that our clients enjoy the appearance of participating in illegal activities. Secrecy contributes to a feeling of indecency.
This kind of thing's pretty common. Bijou's used to do a prison-themed night. Served fish sticks with tartarus sauce.
Oh yeah, prison-themed night was the best. Plus, they gave away limited edition designer handcuffs. The Musgrave Family Collection was intended to be a gallery of fine art. And here we are, using this place to practice semi-legal canid shows. Scandalous, isn't it? That's privileged information. I really shouldn't tell you. That's a fair point. All right, I'll tell you. But just keep this between us. The Musgraves own one of Earth's largest private collections of art and literature. They were going to have the entire collection shipped all the way to Halcyon. Unfortunately, that collection never arrived. We haven't heard anything from the delivery convoy, and there's some purely hypothetical concern that the collection might be, well... I was going to say indefinitely delayed by unforeseen and unknowable circumstances, but yes, let's go with that. Anyway, that's as much as I can tell you. Will there be anything else? Mr. Mostly is indeed attending our event, although I am disappointed to discover he did not officially enter his canid Laplace into our competition. You should find Mr. Mostly just inside the prep room. Head inside and take the door to your left.
Well done.
Just between the two of us, I hope this doesn't become a tradition.
Not looking forward to the next annual Canid review?
Not looking...
Welcome. This unit has been programmed to provide a selection of marginally subversive repartee. Now loading banter protocol. Indecency ratio set to 15%. Did you know that Canid reviews in the premises of Byzantium are a violation of indecency ratio set to maximum. Now loading banter protocol. Byzantium's glory days are over. Bits cannot purchase happiness. All warning. This unit's banter protocol.
How long did you say Musgrave was gone?
I didn't. Frankly, I don't know. He was off on some type of beautification treatment, which I can only assume is
Oh, just hear me out. It's a brilliant idea.
Is this about
Not now, please. I'm a little too busy, you know, being the master of ceremonies.
As always, I must say, our mysterious antagonist is quite rude. It goes against all wireless etiquette to not identify yourself when tossing around threats to life and limb. Under normal circumstances, I'd point the finger at Spacer's Choice, but they wouldn't hide in the shadows. They'd throw the full force of their security apparatus at us. Don't be deceived. UDL knows exactly what they're doing. UDL created the Spacer's Choice Company to flood the market with cheap, substandard goods, and it gave them the capital to be the most powerful corporation on the board. Their profit-before-quality ethos has not only filled their pockets with bits, it also defines who they are and explains the disposable quality of life in Halcyon. I suppose you could say their incompetence is a design feature. The Marauders are just the natural end result of how little value they ascribe to any human life but their own. What's surprising to me is that I allowed myself to be a part of that system. Even after they threw me in the penitentiary, I still acted like I was doing their bidding in Edgewater, selling the townspeople on the idea that the plan supported the board's rule, all in pursuit of a book that I thought would solve all my problems. I appreciate you trying to make me feel better, but please, don't misunderstand. I can still feel regret, as well as a myriad of other normal emotions, but that's all just part of the perfection of life for me now. My emotions neither consume nor define me.
Something on your mind? What's on your mind? Sure. Something.
It's not canid hunting I object to, but the impropriety.
Are you one of the guards on patrol? I don't suppose you've any formal training in canid husbandry. I really am at my wit's end. It's my little Anubis, you see. He's listless and miserable. I simply don't know what to do about his condition. Oh, naturally. All our canids are named after the legends of the old pharaohs. Family tradition, you see. You must understand, Anubis is a very picky eater. He dines exclusively on Terra 2 Saltuna, none of that rubbish from Monarch. Unfortunately, we've had a bit of a shortage lately. He's so miserable without his Saltuna. Yes, perhaps you're right. I suppose I have been pushing Anubis a little too hard. I have an automechanical servant to praise me when I feel out of sorts. My canid deserves the same treatment. I'll be sure to raise a glass of Rizzo's Spectrum Violet to your time.
It seems people who've never known a struggle will use any means necessary to evoke the thrill of uncertainty, no matter how banal.
Chase them around?
It's the principle of the matter. Everything belongs.
Welcome. This unit has been...
Hey, Maverick Johnston's newest star. I've got a question for you. Do you know the interesting thing about canid shows? Mathematically speaking, the interesting thing about canid shows is this. They're an exercise in futility. Winning is predetermined. Over time, the inevitable trend is that the race goes to the swift. Time and chance are just statistical outliers. In other words, if you put enough canids through enough trials, the one with the most optimal attributes generally wins. Exercise in futility. Oh, I've been told I should try to socialize more. Sharing an interesting fact is a proven method of endearing oneself to a stranger. I'm an actuary, you see. Well, not entirely. The actuarial sciences are more of a passion than a profession. So I suppose that makes me mostly an actuary. That's a bit of a family joke. I'm Clarence Mostly. Yes, that's us. Mostly oak trees, too. My grandfather invented them, you know. Well, no, he didn't invent mostly oaks, but he did purchase the naming rights back during the terraforming days. It's essentially the same thing. How do you know that name? Project Gorgon was supposed to be a secret. Sorry, were you addressing me by name, or... You know what, never mind. It's not important. It's true, I was involved with Project Gorgon, but that chapter of my life is long since closed. Listen, I don't know what you want with Gorgon or with me, but let me give you some free advice, Let the past go. Live in the moment. Enjoy the party. Let me hazard a guess. You didn't listen then, and you're not about to listen now. If I wanted to send you a message, I'd arrange for a notarized affidavit. Cryptic warnings and subtle threats are not my forte. Someone with resources. Security countermeasures require a special override. Whoever locked down the facilities must have been watching you. Lifting the lockdown won't be easy. You'll need to send overrides from the chem lab and human inquiry. I don't have that level of clearance, but I know 2 people who do. The trouble is, I don't know you. I don't trust you. I washed my hands of Gorgon, and you're asking me to dirty them all over again. I'm going to need a good reason. I advise against trying to dig up what's been buried. Sooner or later, you're going to draw up something rotten. I want a favor from you. Do something for me, and I'll do something for you. That way, we don't have to rely on mutual trust. A grand prize trophy to the Canid Review. I want it in my hands. Get me that trophy, and I'll give you the remaining researchers. Names, locations, as much information as I have. Yes, but the winner is still in deliberation. Committee won't deliver a result for another 6 to 8 weeks. Bureaucracy. The trophy's being held in a vault at the other end of this hall. Find a way inside, disable any security, lift, carry, deliver. Simple as that. My Canid, Laplace, is statistically superior to every other Canid in this review. Better average sprinting time, superior gait coefficient, optimal anatomical symmetry. I didn't bother entering little Laplace in this pointless contest. He's already won on paper, you see. That trophy rightfully belongs to him. Oh, you're much too kind. Does this mean you'll do it? Head into the main hall and take the elevator down into the maintenance tunnels. You'll find a service passage that leads up into the trophy room. The maintenance tunnel is the only way up into the trophy room. Some technician barred the door shut on our end. Ask Tilda Coatsworth about it, over by the podium. What's on your mind? My eye! I was wondering where I'd misplaced that old thing. It's perfectly preserved, you know. Every eye possesses unique dimensions, not unlike a fingerprint. The circumference, the shape, the color of the iris. An eye makes excellent proof of identification, assuming you don't mind removing one. I'd rather not get into the details. If Spacer's Choice ever asks you to test out their new model of monocle, just say no. Well, that's rather responsible of you. I'll put a good word in your permanent record. What's on your mind? At the moment, nothing. I have a one-track mind. I can't stop thinking about that trophy. Why isn't it in my hands? When is it going to be in my hands? And so on and so forth. You get me that Best in Show trophy, and it'll clear my mind right up.
Oh, perfect. Another company buffoon stomping about in a full suit of armor. All over my finest marble. Shouldn't you be on guard duty? Unfortunately, you're too late. The review ended a few days ago. We've submitted our results to the Judiciary Committee and await arbitration. In 8 to 10 short weeks, we'll have the name of a winner. Probably. That gives us 8 to 10 weeks to file a maintenance request. Our technician barred the vault door and then disappeared without a trace. Can you believe that? Now you're speaking my language. The Musgrave Vault contracted a security consultant from UDL. They sent a technician to install a few security upgrades, anti-dissident automechanicals and the like. That technician barred the vault, but neglected to leave us with a way in from here. He wasn't seen leaving the security room, so I can't imagine where he's gone off to. UDL personnel are so irresponsible. No offense. The tunnels are guarded by automechanical security. I don't look nearly boorish enough to resemble a UDL guard, so they'd probably shoot me on sight. Again, no offense. In any case, I'd rather not step foot in the tunnels. The tunnels are for disposing of unwanted refuse, and no place for a respectable Byzantine. Your eagerness to serve your betters is commendable. Here's a keycard. It should help you get around inside the tunnels. Now, was there anything else? I'd like to get back to mastering over the ceremonies, or people might question why I have this role at all.
I'll be sure to raise a glass of Rizzo's Spectrum Violet to your timely assistance.
Even here.
There's one thing I've learned traveling with you. It's that theft is but a state of mind.
Yeah, look out. That's what they do just before they piss everywhere.
I've got a lot on my mind right now. Our trophy's gone missing, but I can't file an investigation because what we're doing here is technically illegal. Oh, don't look so cross. Those canids were put down mercifully. Not every canid is suited to the intense competition of our review. Some few canids display flaws that cannot be redeemed. A limp, wall eye, poor coloration. Mercifully. Anyway, listen. Nature is red in tooth and claw, and so are we. Competition is practically a law of the universe. I shouldn't have to explain this to you. Go and attend to your business, then. Arguing with you is a waste of time. I'm not in the mood for an argument. I thought I'd made that clear.
You know, the careers of 9 out of 13 actors end after their debut serial. Enjoy the fame while it lasts. Dead canids in the service tunnels. Domesticated canids? Why, that's utterly revolting. Frankly, it doesn't matter to me if they were domesticated or feral. Feral canids are like the unemployed. Their existence implies the need for a loving master. Every canid, regardless of their physical attributes, is a companion to their master. To kill a companion is a profound and unforgivable breach of trust. I'm glad I chose not to participate in this loathsome canid review. I will, however, take their trophy. My trophy! Look at this thing! Have you ever seen a more garish monument to the boredom of the elite? If only Grandfather Mostly were alive today, I would have loved to wave this trophy right in front of his cataracts. I hope you won't take it personally when I say I had my doubts about you. Nothing ever gets done in Byzantium, you see. Competent work is, well, a statistical anomaly. Lifting the emergency lockdown requires overrides from the Chem Lab and Human Inquiry. Access to those facilities requires authorizations from 2 senior-level researchers, Marion Blakesley, Jasper Lowe. They went into hiding after the project collapsed, but I've managed to calculate their last known whereabouts within a reasonable margin of error. I see you're familiar with my technique. I'd love to show you my numbers, but there aren't nearly enough napkins in this room. After the project shut down, I had to keep my mind occupied. I worked on my actuarial tables, calculated the average lifespan of a Spacer's Choice worker, that sort of thing. I realized some of the researchers had to be alive. I ran some numbers, did a little research, and concluded that the two most likely survivors are Marion Blakesley and Jasper Lowe. Nonsense. I just needed a good old-fashioned statistical problem to busy my mind. Keeps the faculties lubricated.
I appreciate your sense of irony, Captain. Let us not embarrass Mr. Mosley by suggesting he feels responsible for the events on Gorgon.
I'd appreciate it if you didn't accuse me of altruism. We are, after all, in polite company. Think what you will of my intentions, my calculations are sound. You'll find Marion Blakesley and Jasper Lowe at the enclosed locations. As far as I know, Jasper Lowe and Marion Blakesley are the only two surviving researchers with high-level clearance. If you want to lift the lockdown on the manufactory, you'll need to send an override from the Chem Lab and Human Inquiry. I'm afraid it's the only way. I know it feels like you're being led on. What is that colorful metaphor commoners use? A wild sprat chase? Remember, this is Spacer's Choice we're talking about. Their security protocols are just as inefficient and frustrating as their manufacturing. I'll tell you what I can. Dr. Lowe described himself as a dazzling genius in his review. I disagreed. Of the 19 criteria that constitute the rubric of genius, Dr. Lowe only met 15. After the project shut down, corporate traded him off to Auntie Cleo in exchange for 5 lab coats. He's been transferred to an orbital lab around Olympus. Our office gave Dr. Lowe and his team every opportunity to develop a drug under perfectly reasonable guidelines and generous deadlines. Dr. Lowe failed to meet our requests and largely succeeded in using our supply of drugs to get himself higher than the mortality rate of a line worker at a Saltuna cannery. Dr. Marion Blakesley supervised the Human Inquiry and Auditing Facility. Live subjects, measuring tape and syringes, that sort of thing. Someone sabotaged the facility. Blakesley tendered her resignation and vanished. I'm reasonably certain she's hiding in a maintenance bay on Groundbreaker. Well, with Spacer's Choice equipment, who even knows? Dr. Blakesley tendered her resignation lawfully, but under suspicious circumstances. If you want to know more, you'd best ask her yourself. I'm asking you to trust in the predictive power of data. Dr. Blakesley may have disappeared after that sabotage incident, but the trajectory of her life was implied in her permanent record. Dr. Lowe after...
No, Captain. Lab coats, as in scientists.
Is your captain always this dense? How are you all still alive?
I live for risk.
Let's get back on topic. you'll find Dr. Lowe in an orbital lab around Olympus. Certain... I'll tell... Dr. Marion Blakesley supervise someone's... Sir... Let's try to keep it down, shall we? At least pretend we're being discreet? There's not a lot about Project Gorgon I can tell you. I know that's not what you wanted to hear, but I closed that chapter in my life. I've moved on. Look, don't tell anyone I said this. But if there's anything I've learned by living in Byzantium, it's this. If you go looking for the truth, you are looking for trouble. All right. Ask your questions. And then if you don't mind, don't mention Project Gorgon anywhere near me again. Minnie Ambrose. Oh, Olivia's brat. Ambitious, but like the rest of her family, irrelevant. She tried following her mother's example, failed, and if she ever tried again, I couldn't tell you. The name Ambrose doesn't mean anything to me anymore, or to anyone halfway respectable. The Ambroses are, how do I put this politely, obsolete? A family's name is only as strong as its enterprise. The Musgraves have Rizzos, and the Schuyler's have Auntie Cleo, and so we show those names the respect they deserve. The Ambrose name was associated with Project Gorgon. The project died, and so the Ambrose name died with it. That's just the way the game is played. Project Gorgon was designed to change the life of every worker on Halcyon. We weren't just building a product, we were trying to build a society. How many workers call Halcyon their home? What do they eat and when? How long do they sleep? How hard do they work? What are their most productive years? When do their organs begin to fail? That's the nature of my work. I study human life in order to determine its value. Jewelers appraise diamonds, and I appraise people. Of course you can. You can break the entire universe down into numbers and statistics. Human beings are as much a part of the universe as weather patterns and orbital mechanics.
Forgive me, Mr. Mosley, if I seem awestruck. I've not heard so many profoundly incorrect statements uttered in a single breath since I myself spouted them.
A vicar with a sense of humor. There's a statistical outlier. Everything. Every project has a margin of failure. We expect setbacks, complications, delays. Project Gorgon experienced a cascade failure. One mistake precipitated another, and another, and another. The labs failed to develop a safe drug. Human Inquiry failed to perform their tests responsibly. An unsafe drug tested on unhealthy subjects by irresponsible supervisors. That's Project Gorgon. No one appreciates the value of good data. The holistic surveillance device I wear is an invaluable tool, gathering data on all my day-to-day activities. My former colleagues can go into hiding and live in ignorance for all I care. I prefer the self-examined life. Anarchy is not a crime. It is a symptom. The undisciplined workplace secretes anarchy the way our glands secrete enzymes. It's a principle of science. Sabotage came first. The chem lab, Human Inquiry, even my own office. Sabotage broke the discipline of our workplace, leading to confusion, leading to escaped subjects, leading to anarchy. I know. Project Gorgon was a failure of leadership. Leadership to which I belonged. I should have pushed for stricter supervision. We gave the other departments too much freedom and not enough oversight. Spare the rod, spoil the servant. Never cared much for hors d'oeuvres. The word is just grotesque. All those superfluous letters ruin my appetite.
I'm not in the mood for an argument. I thought I'd meet.
Thank you for participating in our confidential.
Someone has left a threatening message on your terminal, Captain. I was unable to trace its origin. Please make a note of it. Welcome back, Cap. How... See... Stop at the Groundbreaker Auxiliary Base.
objects in proximity are determined to be heavily soiled, preparing to deep scrub the dirt out.
Hey you, over here. Let's chat. Whoa, 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 it's Riz. Oh, fucking damn it. Every time. So, hey, you're trespassing, and I'm armed. Maybe take a second look at your life choices, pal. Nothing. Never mind. What, you gonna report me? I don't work for them no more. I'm with the gardeners now. All of us kept the peace for the corpse once, but we got tired of being used. Yeah, we're the gardeners. We keep order back here on these dangerous streets. Hallways. You know what I mean. Anyway, Blakesley's given us standing orders to strongly discourage anyone who tries to come in. I like to, extrapolate from there. We ain't subversives. We're gainfully employed. This is a private contract. Miss Junlei can't get too mad if we rough up some trespassers. Especially if I was nice enough to warn him first. This deal with Blakesley's pretty sweet. We get paid, and we get fresh greens every week. My gums never looked healthier. What? Shit. Insurance, you said? Fine, I guess. Look, we won't give you trouble, but I can't say the same about Blakesley. She's got some crazy setup in there, so if you get shot, don't come complaining to me. This one's clear, guys. Still ain't this sweating like crazy.
Some days, it's like I don't know what to do with myself.
Come on. This is great. We don't have to beat up miscreants for them anymore.
Chew up some expensive food. That's a good boy.
Understood. I'll keep my head down.
Maybe not bad.
Work.
This must be a step up from horseback.
huh? Doesn't look like either of us are sitting pretty in the Zandy and the big shot.
Come on, you two. We're all gardeners here. Hey.
You gonna shoot or what? Huh? You know, a space choice cadet takes care of, Wow. Impressive. Huh?
As you were.
You have to be kidding me. I thought I made myself click. Wait, what's with this camera? Hello? Damn it. Look, I get it. Some people need things spelled out for them. I'm sure one of the automechanicals can explain.
Observation log. Date. Well, never mind. Hybridization efforts have proven successful, and the nursery's yield is improving steadily. Meanwhile, the psychological benefits of gardening are difficult to assess without a control group. Subjective reflection suggests minor gains in memory retention and contentment.
Dust accumulation. Thank you, Sam.
To think that a manta queen can grow from something like this. Nature is truly wondrous, is it not?
on areas.
Observation log, date, who knows. Subject number, well, let's call him Percy. Percy here has discovered the secret to success. He has lifted the veil and found the pattern. He wakes up, he listens for that bell 3 times a day. Food rains from the sky. He eats, he waits. Life is easy. But the second your molt comes in, pal,
Behavioral conditioning, much like a board vice president reacting to the word profit.
So who the fuck... Oh, wait, hang on, I can't hear a damn thing. Just gonna shut this thing off. Right. Marion Blakesley, what can I do for you, Mr. Home Invasion? Hey, a lot of money went into corralling that pack of trigger-happy washouts. Not exactly the deepest hiring pool out here. Oh, sure. A real gathering of bright minds. Gorgon? I holed up in a forgotten cargo bay of a rotting colony ship just so I could never hear that name again. But here you are. I really didn't expect today to go this way. Shit. I should have brought another pack of smokes. The Gorgon project gave us Adrena time in the end, but that's just the Bo Spacer's choice stuck on the whole mess. Corporate demanded a product they could throw onto shelves. That put the squeeze on low at Chem to develop formulas, samples. But how do you know if the product works? You run tests, see what happens. That's where human inquiry and auditing came in. I ran HIA, and HIA ran the tests again and again and again. And what happens is a whole lot of wasted time and even more bodies. You met the gardeners. They're nothing but overgrown canids, but people love their fancy names. We were looking for a game changer, something to better the colony. It felt important, worth a few sacrifices. Spacer's choice. They wanted to sell that change for as many bits as they could. None of us got what we wanted. You've heard the adverts, right? Work day and night, still feel refreshed the next morning. Now, what we tested for was dexterity, efficiency, compliance. The traits of a good employee. Numbers never came out right. I could have pumped gallons of those chemicals into every living soul in this colony. Wouldn't have changed that. What we got was marauders. Hey, do whatever you like. Life's short and we're all dying anyway. I was a good scientist. I had to have wound up on that asteroid for a reason. I worked so hard. We all get stuck in our own patterns. Magical thinking. That was mine. Regrets don't add up to much. Anyway, turned out it couldn't go on forever. Someone sabotaged the facility, freed the test subjects. Spacer's choice wasn't getting much use out of us anymore, so they shuttered the project, kicked Adrena time out the door. And I came here. Not much point in sticking around once the project fell apart. And gardening's supposed to be good for you. It hasn't been that long, 4 years. I lost a few months in the middle somewhere, to be expected.
You're about a year off, but that's not surprising. Isolation can do strange things to the mind, regardless if it's physical or mental.
Oh, shit. That depends on how long the Groundbreaker's life support systems go on ticking, mostly. Indulge a scientist. What do you want out of this investigation of yours? Trying to liven up your memoir? Gets them every time. Ask your priest friend. What do you get out of headbutting murderous auto mechanicals for your captain here?
My reasons are my own. Suffice it to say that not all rewards are monetary.
Fair enough. That's all I've got. Here, I still have this pass. Don't much feel like hanging on to it anymore. Made my exit the moment the project started falling apart. Had to steal some credentials. This should get you into the volunteer induction entrance. Please, I just messaged people with fake demands for their passwords. That's when they didn't just leave codes written down on pieces of paper. If I couldn't talk my way out past a simple facility lockdown, I'd be working for Rizzo's. That'll get you inside. What you do from there, that's up to you. Come on, I've left it behind me. Yeah, well, you have to go on, don't you? Guilt's a useless emotion. What good is thinking about the past over and over and over again? Please, I don't need... Fine. Fine, here, I remember one of my access codes. Just punch in the keypad equivalent for replication. Should get you into the offices. Maybe get you to my terminal a little sooner. Go test that persistence of yours out on Gorgon. Yeah. I'll make sure the auto mechanicals don't bother you on the way out. Sure, take it. You're just drowning in dining options down here. I'd offer you wine or something, but I don't really want you to stay. Not much, to be honest. Spent most of my time inside the facility. Having a tediously protracted nervous breakdown. The biome's been irreversibly tampered with at this point, so I'd say be prepared for anything. Generators mostly, when they work. I've only got so many instruction manuals. Not at first. Your average shrub isn't much use to the corporations. They're vicious organisms in their own way, plants. But at least they're quiet about it. Yeah. Look at you, so... Tryhards, incompetent or unlucky enough to get themselves fired. Probably missed their bludgeoning quotas. They were milling around the back bays. We had some colorful negotiations. I talked them into keeping watch for me. Not hard. They were itching to feel important. Yeah. I'll make...
Welcome back. How? Captain, an unknown vessel is approaching our ship. Their intentions are currently indeterminate. Once I deduce their intentions, I will play one of two audio signals. A cheerful fanfare if they are friendly, alarms if they are hostile. Their intentions are no longer unknown. At precisely this moment, Captain? No. Within the next 60 to 90 seconds? Yes. The unknown vessel has deployed a boarding mechanism. They will attach themselves to our airlock and attempt boarding shortly. That sound indicates that a boarding mechanism has successfully attached to our airlock. Captain, I am pleased to inform you that we are currently in the process of being boarded. Boarded, Captain. A verb, indicating a hostile action whereby an enemy ship attempts to invade our own for the purposes of capture. Captain Hawthorne installed a lethal shock trap on our airlock in the event of an invasion. I am prepared to deploy this trap at a moment's notice. I was bluffing, Captain. When we met in Emerald Vale, my systems were not fully operational. Even if they were, I might have made an exception for you. The invading ship appears to be a decommissioned storage vessel. The crew are either pirates or freelancers. My opinion of their competence is low. Their ship is using a tracking device too sophisticated for their primitive astrogator. I conclude they are receiving outside assistance. If you prefer to make an escape, I can disable their boarding mechanism. However, as long as that tracking device remains on board their ship, they will be able to find us again. Yes, Captain. I am capable of deploying the Unreliable's articulated thrusters to dislodge their ship from our own. This is a temporary solution, however. A permanent solution may require your personal intervention. Understood, Captain. I will be deploying the Unreliable's lethal deterrence system. Please approach the airlock and enjoy the show. Now initiated. More working protocol successfully deployed. Have a safe boarding, Captain.
I must say that there's been nary a dull moment since signing on with this crew.
I thought we were safe in the Aether. Oh, well, I'm gonna have nightmares about this for weeks.
I've been on the other side of a boarding dock enough to recognize amateurs.
Assholes interrupted my beauty sleep. Got my head in the game, boss. Maybe we can talk when we're done here?
Invading foreign threats detected. Deploying lethal measures. Targets: bacteria, viruses, and human scum.
I'll lock up behind you.
Sanitizing within establishment.
Like our opponent knows how to play defense.
close to the speaker. I can hear you breathing. Unsportsmanlike and disrespectful. My freebooters could learn a thing or two from you. I'll admit, this attack hasn't gone strictly according to plan. But as we like to say in the League, no strategy survives contact with the opponent. Let's call this round a draw. You head back to your end of the field, I'll regroup my team, and we'll see where things take us in the second half. What do you say? Like you wouldn't believe. First the macro wave broke down, then our astrogator went on the fritz. Turns out the Unreliable is not an easy ship to track. I got a couple of contingency plans lined up. I just need some time to regroup. So what do you say? Wanna try this again? Of course we're playing tossball. We're the freebooters. Tossball is what we do. Tossball and piracy. Here's the problem. I can't let you live, but as long as you're on my ship, you've got the advantage over us. So, we're at an impasse. You want to negotiate terms. How do I know this isn't a trap? A meeting between coaches. Unconventional, but brazen. I like it. All right, I'm willing to parlay. Come speak with me in the captain's quarters. I mean the coach's office. Come up through the cargo hold. I'll have my players take a timeout. For now.
The coach is ready to see you. Head upstairs.
You'll find me in my office.
Hey, no eye contact.
Quietly now.
We're the freebooters. Remember the name?
have to go sneaking around the back like that. It betrays an absence of trust. You didn't have to go sneaking around the back like that. It betrays an absence. All right, easy now. Let's just keep our weapons holstered like civilized people. I'm a man of my word. Let's talk. I'll even drop the tossball act for you. My team and I were contracted to apprehend the Unreliable, eliminate its crew, and dispose of the captain. I couldn't tell you who hired me even if I wanted to. The contract's anonymous. No names, no faces, just money and a target. I can't turn down a job like that, you understand. Wow, that's a lot of bits. I mean, after careful deliberation, I've decided to accept your offer. I'll keep my ship clear of yours. You and I will never cross orbits again. I got no reason to come after you. Use my credentials to get inside the cockpit and take our tracking device. Our astrogation terminal was tracking your ship. Don't ask me how. Never had much luck with computing devices myself. The truth. We never caught up to the Unreliable. You vanished somewhere into the void. Astrogator never picked up your location again. I'll keep my ship clear of yours. You and I will never cross orbits again. Just adding up some figures, Captain. You'll see the back of our ship soon enough.
I'll keep my ship clear of yours.
Got my head in the game, boss. Maybe we can talk when we're done here?
Status report.
Welcome back, Captain. I understand you have resolved your differences with our former boarding party. Are you ready to depart? Understood, Captain. Resuming our course. Welcome back. How...
Good to see you, boss. Nice work dealing with those freebooters. Somebody out there wants us dead. But don't exactly narrow the field. Whoever it was, if they really wanted to cross us off, they should have sent competent mercenaries. Yeah, you're right. Besides, even if the freebooters were competent, you would have made them look like a bunch of amateurs, boss. Beats me. Could have been anybody. Could have been Ada. Yeah, it probably wasn't Ada. Hey, could have been my old foreman. Hey, Ada said she was eager to test out the ship's defenses. We can't rule her out. That's all I'm saying.
I could probably spend years You want to ask about... It sure is lonely.
there? We're not here to hurt you.